Schoolies celebrations have taken a tragic turn overnight. An 18-year-old Central Coast girl has died while celebrating the end of school with her friends in Bali. Local paramedics were unable to revive the young woman who suffered methanol poisoning. Her grieving family have gathered at the girls' school where her friends are sharing their condolences.
So it was towards the ends of our schoolies trip in Bali, and we went out to a club. We weren't planning on a big night, it was just a couple of girls, supposed to be something chill. Probably had like 1 or 2 drinks, and then Jazz started feeling a bit unwell. So I decided that, we'd head out of the club, see if we can find any help, and then figure out what to do. As we were walking out of the club, we were looking around to see if there was anyone that could help out. There was no one around except for just more drunk people, and I hailed a taxi, took Jasmine home. She was tired, all she wanted to do was sleep. Just put her to bed, and then the next morning I went to go check on her, and she wasn't responding, and she wouldn't wake up.
So the phone call. God. Heartbroken. This is probably what I was like when I got the phone call too. Because then I had to tell my wife. It's probably the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. With a phone call that no parent ever wants to receive. No longer have a daughter. Oh God.
It's been 9 years since we went on that schoolies trip, and Jasmine didn't come home. There's a lot of things that she missed out on. She didn't get her 18th birthday. She didn't get her 21st birthday. Yeah.
As a parent, your children are not meant to go before you. Yeah, so that'll be the hardest thing.
Methanol poisoning.
Heartbroken.
And she wouldn't wake up. Jazz had only had 1, maybe 2 drinks. It wasn't as if she was drunk, it was something different. I had the intention of just, getting a taxi and taking us back to the hotel and then figuring out what to do next. And then we were approached by someone from Red Frogs that came over and said, do you guys need any help? What's going on? They could tell instantly that something was wrong with Jasmine. Luckily, one of the volunteers, she spoke both English and Indonesian, so she was able to help us out, get us into a taxi with one of the locals and advise them of what the severity of the situation was with Jasmine, and that we needed to get immediately to a hospital. Had I made the decision to take Jasmine home, things would have gone totally different.
We've got the phone call no parent wants to get. Your daughter's in Bali and she's in a hospital. She's unable to see. We're not sure what's going on. My wife's basically melting in front of me. All of a sudden, I've got to ring Bali, the hospital that she's in, and try and get some information on what's happening.
I'd only recently started drinking alcohol, so I didn't know the effects of, all the difference between alcohol poisoning or methanol poisoning. We were just kids. We didn't know anything.
The story then started to come around and make a little bit of sense, is that there was an organisation that we didn't even know about. And as a parent, I should have known about. And that was the Red Frogs. Probably the hardest thing here is that if they turn right instead of turning left, we don't know what would happen. The recognition that the Red Frog should be getting should be a lot more from parents like me.
definitely felt what happened in Bali. It definitely felt like someone was watching over me, like the coincidences of like my friends going to take me out to put me in a taxi, and then the Red Frog tent just being right there. Like, when would that ever, like, it's just right where you are in your path. And the Red Frog that helped me was a nurse, spoke Indonesian, and helped me get to a hospital. And like all those little things that added up to make sure that I got to the hospital and got the treatment I needed. Like, if those small moments hadn't have happened, where would I be now? And you just can't make that up. Like, it's just bizarre. Like,
I think having Red Frogs there and giving me the advice that I needed ensured that I made the right decision. If I didn't have someone else there to give me that advice and who knew what symptoms of methanol poisoning looked like, because I didn't, had they not been there, I would have definitely made the wrong call.
It makes me feel really grateful, because sometimes I just forget because I'm going about my normal life. Like, have Oakley, we're so busy, I've got my dog, I've got Blake, like my family are all so close. So I feel like I couldn't have been here, and I am. So definitely, gives me a different view on life.
To the people that were there 9 years ago, not that we know who they are, it'd be nice to give them a hug and say thank you. If you're watching this now, tears in my eyes and everything, it's, as a parent, the reward is going to be that someone's going to be there for your children. And thank you so much.
I think Red Frogs are so important, because when I think of my story, and if they weren't there, what would have happened? And then you think about, the statistics of, how many people you've walked home, or how many people you've helped, call the police for, or all those things. But if you weren't there, you don't know the amount of people that things could have gone bad for, because you were there to intervene in those stories like mine, and you can't get the data for that. So there's so many people you've helped.
Myself, my family, we owe this organisation a life, basically. You saved my daughter, and guys, if you're out there and you can help this organisation, please do, because the work they do is invaluable. The youth of our community are our future leaders, and basically, we need to help them, and this organisation does.
Being a mum has changed my perspective on what happened, even to me, thinking what mum and dad would have gone through, like getting the call, now having Oakley, and I feel like I want nothing bad to happen to him, and like the love I have for him is so insane, like you can't describe it. Why they show up for me is the same reason I show up for him, and want to live this life I have. I think if Red Frogs weren't there and things hadn't gone the way they had, I might not be alive today to be having this chance to tell everyone my story, and that's something I'll never forget, and I'll be forever grateful for that they were there for me.